So that twink is at the end of the song is I don't know, it's like it triggers me to laugh. I can't help it. So all good. So welcome to another inspired episode of Good Fat Life, and I'm really excited about my guest today because it's my daughter, Kylee Sanders, and we are going to have coffee this morning. Although I'm missing my coffee, forgot to bring it in, and talk about our new issue of Good Fat Life. It came out a couple of weeks ago, and we need to talk about it. Hey, Kyles, there you are.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Kylee hails from Montreal, north of Montreal, so it's always a treat when we get to spend a little time together. Good Fat Life, the new issue.
Yes, I love the sweater.
What?
That's
Do you
my
like that
favorite.
sweater? I know those are your colors, right?
Yeah,
I saw that and I immediately thought of you and all the snow that you have up in your part of the world
yeah, it looks like the frozen tundra. That's
that you're living in.
yeah,
Right.
I
Well,
love
it's
it.
cold. I've got my vintage sweater on, and we had like minus 25 wind chill last week.
Yeah, it was pretty cold here too. So
Well,
coats and hats and hot cocoa and
I know, and do outdoor stuff, right?
yeah,
That's what I'm,
yeah,
that's what I'm loving. We grew up in Oregon, which rains. It
yeah.
doesn't snow much.
Rain was our winter.
Our winter. And so to have
Yeah,
snow and all of the accoutrements of snow, like, right? Knitted
yeah,
sweaters and woolly scarves and hot chocolate and ice castles is a cool thing.
yeah, yeah. It
So,
is. It's nice. I have to say, while I love the rain, it's comforting because I think of it's nostalgic for me, and it's just reminds me of Oregon. But I am enjoying having the snow. So
right,
it's a nice season,
you
even if
do.
it's cold. It's
Yeah.
still fun, yeah.
But what I've learned is that you just dress for it,
Yeah, that's the important
right?
part. And
The,
heated socks. That has been my
oh,
savior.
heated socks.
Yeah, it has a little battery pack. It's fantastic.
Good
Yeah.
to know. Good to know. Well, so I thought it would just be fun to go through the latest issue of Good Fat Life because we spend so much time curating the articles that are in it, and I just kind of wanted to bring them to the forefront and entice people to go to the website, check out the new issue, order a subscription. We've got it where you get it delivered to your house every quarter. And then when it's not the magazine, so it's January, April, July, and October, you get a magazine. But on the months that you don't get a magazine, you get a cool, we like to call them wonders, a surprise
Okay.
in the mail that is curated to support the mission of the magazine. So, so
Nice.
yeah,
That's
huh?
nice. That's
Yeah,
really
it
nice.
is.
Little
It's
surprise and
a, a little surprise, and I said, we call them wonders because our lives are full of wonders when we take the time and stop and notice, right?
yeah, absolutely.
We get so busy and wound up that we forget, and with the way the world is right now, it's so easy to get sucked down the rabbit hole of things that we have no control over. So,
Right. And it can, you can start to kind of bring that negativity and carry it around and it's good to have moments where you're like, you know what, not everything in the world is chaotic and bad and or negative. There's lots of really good things too. So especially when you have
there's
those little things pull you out of that is good too. Or just a
right.
little reminder.
A little reminder. There's millions of those things happening all the time when we just take the moment and pay attention, right?
Absolutely.
So so
Absolutely.
anyways, okay. So speaking of wonders, one of the first things that we talk about is we have our More Wonder Please workshop coming up on February 16th. It is in Brighton at the Brighton Lighthouse. So for people who are outside of Brighton, you're welcome to come in. It's from 10 to 4. So
And I
it's
have to do
not,
a little plug for I did get to visit it last time we were in Michigan.
yeah.
And that place is amazing. I've seen that house before, or that place, when I come to visit you. It's been there for a long time, but the renovations and the decorations, just the land it's absolutely beautiful. So just even being able to go and see that space is very cool.
I like to call it Disneyland for entrepreneurs, but it's even bigger than that. There's a magic around it, right?
Yeah, it's a very inspiring, it's beautiful. Yeah.
And we're going to be doing some really cool things. So it's really about a day, so 10 to 4. So you can sleep in, do what you need to do with your family, and you can get home early enough to do, dinner or whatever. But we have a meditative sound bath, and we have a mushroom cooking class and qigong, and we're going to be making mocktails, and we have some flowers involved, and and a number of other little things sprinkled in. So it's really going to be a fun kind of magical day for people.
Oh, that sounds really nice.
Yeah, it's
Fun.
growth. It's relaxing. It's growth oriented, and the coolest thing about it, other than being in the space and doing the activities, are the people. Right,
Yeah, of
the
course.
people there are
The social aspect.
right. They become your new best friends. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I love it.
So that's very good. So check us out, and the details are on goodfatlife.com.
So it's
So
February
there's
16th.
February 16th. Yep. Okay. So then the next thing that's kind of cool is there's an ad for, I don't know if you can see it, my Ph.D. program. It's so cool to be able to go back to school and do things that I would be doing anyway, but in a structured, deeper way, and with a cohort. So
Right.
the community's been amazing, right?
Yeah, you've gotten to do some pretty cool things with this program. I mean, not only the learning and things like that, but you get to go to some pretty cool places, and a lot of the people that you've met along the way you've told me about are it's pretty amazing.
Right, right. And my graduation is set for June 13th, 2026.
We'll be there.
I know. So you have to be because the kids are all going to be part of it. So,
Yeah,
so that's
we'll be
cool.
there.
Yes. I'm just kind of going to give a little highlights. One of the articles, The Four Amazing Things That Happens When You Get Adjusted by Dr. Adam Rushford. And I will tell you, I have taken a couple of falls. I smashed a rib, and I talked about that. Dr. Rushford was on my podcast last week, and I asked him, he was saying that the only way that our joints stay healthy is by moving them. So I asked
Right.
him how many joints there are, and he wasn't sure. But I did Chat GPT, right? And there's 360 joints in our body, and I had it make a map and we knew how to move them. So Bob and I are now going around the house moving our joints, right? So because the only way you keep them flexible is by using them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, it's muscles too, and they can atrophy. They can.
right, and I've fallen twice in the last week from various things. It wasn't like I was just walking and fell. We had ice and stuff, and anyway, so I went to see Dr. Rushford, to get adjusted, and turns out I had gotten whiplash in the fall on the snow, and like who knew you could even do that, right?
Yeah, when you had told me that, I was like, I did not know that could happen. But I mean, you think about it, and it's kind of the same movement. You fall and you move your body in a weird way, and yeah, I guess it could make sense. Just I had
Right.
never even think about it.
And it affected my hearing on the right side of my head, which was just so interesting. But I was so grateful that I could go get an adjustment. I could get a treatment protocol, and I'm feeling much better. I know it'll be fine. I think that's another thing that's just so important is having a community of people. My massage therapist got me in right away, and my nutritionist said these are the things you want to be taking, the supplements to support the inflammation that's going on in your body,
Yeah,
and I just said it's time to rest. So this whole issue is about the importance of rest. There's just so much science around rest, and we'll talk about that in a little bit more. But anyways, all good.
takes a
So
village.
It does take a village, Kyle's like you said, and we spend a lot of time finding those people that really have our best interests at heart. They love what they do. They're really good at what they do. There's something about that community, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It just it stuff's going to happen. So having a community that can support you while it's happening is makes a really big difference. So moving on, we have a AJ Gross, is a CPA, and he is one of our branding partners now, and he has a great article about the mindset shift, taxes growth, and working with a CPA. It's kind of important. I mean, all of us, I will say many of us, for our whole lives, like hate paying taxes, hate having to file taxes, and working with your CPA can be really unpleasant and stressful. But AJ's got this amazing philosophy and a way of coming to the topic about, having a growth mindset. If your tax bill's increasing, it's because you're making more money. And then working with your CPA can help you find ways to pay less taxes. But the mindset should always be, how do I make the most money possible?
Yeah, absolutely. And I can see the advantage of having a CPA who knows the laws and who knows the ways and to maximize maximize like your refund or whatever. Also, especially if you have any kind of a complicated write-offs, or you have, I have with my medical condition, like I have a lot of pharmacy bills and other things that, I have to provide all the documentation for that in order to get the write-off for it. And it can be very, very stressful, and numbers don't match. And, the one that the insurance company is providing doesn't match the pharmacy one. And then all your receipts are a completely different one. Like it's navigating that can be very difficult. You have your retirement and you have your interest. It's can be very, very stressful. I absolutely see the value of having a CPA who can navigate you through that and help you to just maximize and
Right.
not, I don't want to say necessarily to enjoy the experience, because it's probably very uncomfortable for a lot of people, not enjoyable, but to get through it where it's not so stressful and
Well,
you're
but I'm going to push back on that a little bit. It can be really inspired when you work
yeah,
with somebody who has an attitude of, let's really come to your financial needs and situation with a, how can we make this really pleasant and really, so you take ownership and are excited about what you're doing with your financial picture,
that I
right?
would agree with.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's,
And
make it work for you and see what it can
right.
do. And yeah, and that mindset, I absolutely agree. Yeah.
And helps you. And another thing that he does that I love, so whether you have a business or you don't, you still have monies coming in. But he sits down and it's like, okay, let's, what is it you're wanting to create? Let me help you do that. And so it's a whole different energy. It can be fun, can be inspired, and you can make a strategy on what it is you want to create. So
Oh, I like that. I
yeah,
like that.
yeah. So anyways, all right. Oh, and then we have our 21-day glow up challenge, because everyone knows and all the research shows we need buddies.
Yes.
We need accountability buddies to make changes, right?
That I would agree with. By yourself, it can be hard. It can feel very lonely. And, you may not be you're not accountable. That's the key word. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, it's okay. No one's going to know
Yeah.
if I don't work out today, or I don't, I cheat today. But no, I think the accountability buddies makes it, you've got another motivation besides
Right.
just doing it for yourself. You'd be like, okay, my buddy's in this too. Like, I can't let them down and I don't want to let them down. And, if you have kind of a competitive spirit, it'd be fun to challenge each other.
And we have this really cute, I don't, let's see.
Yeah, I like that.
Can you see it? We have this really cute avocado tree. You color and you send it in and you get entered for our drawing. We do a monthly drawing. Yeah, it is. And it can be anything. It could be you're going to take an afternoon rest for 10 minutes, or you're going to anything that is something that would help you improve the quality of your day. It
Yeah,
doesn't have to
going
be,
back to
oh,
the rest,
yeah,
little
yes,
little
you wish.
afternoon
So,
naps.
my massage therapist, she said something that really inspired me She said she's training, right? She's not working out, she's not exercise, she's training. And I thought, I could be training because training is much more fun than exercising, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
The
like
semantics of it's
it's
funny the changing the word. You choose another, a synonym or whatever, and it just can shift your whole outlook on something. I like that. I like
it
that.
just changes the energy, and it's like, okay, so what am I training for? Could be
Yeah,
anything, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, language. We have all these lovely self pauses because self pauses are so important. Ideas and Good Fat Life, we look at your work, your social, your spiritual, your physical, your space, your emotional, your personal, and your financial aspects of life because all of them kind of have to be in sync to have a balanced life. I don't even want to say a balanced life, to have where you're not stressed about stuff. If you're stressed about money, but you're really chill, it's incongruent, right? Or if you hate your job and you meditate, well, I mean, it's still incongruent.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, might be hard. It's definitely possible to find balance. You may not like your job, but it has other benefits.
Right.
That has really great health care, and so your family is protected if anything happens or you get sick or whatever. So I can understand it may not be your most favorite job, and
But if you're intentional about it, you can find things that you love about it
yeah,
so you don't hate it. I guess that's kind of what we're saying is like find those things that are good about it. Like
right,
training versus working out, right?
yeah,
Exercising. There's
yeah,
the rest of the articles. We have some really wonderful articles about rest and I think they're presented in ways that maybe you hadn't thought about before and why it's not just oh yeah, I'll fit it in when I can, why it's essential to fit it in some ways to fit it in that you might not have thought about it before. And of course, we have some great books. Great
ooh,
books. Yeah,
nice.
the
What are the books that are recommended?
Earth to Table Every Day is a cookbook, cooking with good ingredients through the seasons.
Ooh,
And I made some soup this weekend that was delicious out of there for a cold winter day, right?
yeah,
And then The Daily Pressfield by Stephen Pressfield. It's one of those books that you just read one page a day.
okay,
And I really, really like it. It's motivating, inspiring, and encouraging, but it's also realistic. It like kind of calls things as it is. And he talks about resistance a lot, how it could be it needs to become your new best friend.
yeah. Yeah, no, I like the attitude that like this is the realistic point of view, because it can be great to say, oh, you should be doing all these things and your life will become, well,
Yeah.
it takes
It's
a little
like
bit more than that. And you're going to hit some challenges, and but this is, you got to the perseverance, and you've got to move through it. And so I think it's to be
well and you
realistic about it is better for the person who's wanting to follow that advice. That it's not, you start reading the book and all of a sudden your life is changed, and you
yeah,
know
he's kind of like it's going to be waiting resistance is going to be waiting for you the minute you pop your eyes open in the morning.
yeah,
And here are some ways that you can work with it.
yeah,
And they're really fun, they're inspired and it's like okay, it just shifts the energy immediately.
yeah.
And then the next book is A Glorious Freedom, and it's older women leading extraordinary lives. So it's very inspired, and you read about women that are doing amazing things until their last breath. And I think that's the story we want to be focusing on, right?
Yeah,
As we're training.
yeah. That's your training.
So,
Maybe
so
that's what you on your playlist is the audio version of some of these books, and while you're training.
while you're training, exactly. And then, oh my gosh, Lucas Root, Dr. Lucas Root, he's one of the people I met while doing my PhD, and he's just a phenomenal human. But he does our food and reset and reimagine The Sacred Act of Nourishing Through Food. And I love reading his stuff because it's just so inspired. He brings all the history and, I don't know, kind of the sacredness, if you will, of cooking and eating. And it's elevates it from like, oh yeah, I got to eat, to, man, this is really special. Preparing our food and eating our food is a really big deal. And it's kind of
Well,
a,
especially I think in my life and, probably most people's lives, eating and cooking has just become such a chore and so routine, like something you have to do. And I'm a person who loves to cook, as like our family, we love to entertain, we love to cook. Like it's just such a passion of ours and so important to us, but it becomes such a chore. It's like doing the dishes or doing the laundry, and it loses its sparkle. It loses its passion, It's just, okay, I got to make a menu and I got to,
exactly.
but it would
Yeah.
be really nice to bring the fun, the energy and the passion back to it, even if it's a rushed Monday night dinner, interested in the ingredients and what you're cooking and, let's try something fun and new, even if it's a 30-minute dinner or something.
And that's what Dr. Root talks about. And it is. It's just, again, it's, instead of cooking, you're nourishing or something. You're creating a sacred act of nourishing through food. And we do that several times a day. And that stopping and remembering that just shifts the energy, right?
Yeah, and especially when you're coming, talking about your fall and you're a nutritionist saying things you need to help your body, the same thing that what we put into our body every day is supporting our health and our immune system, and instead of just blindly eating whatever,
To
to put
get,
a little
yeah,
bit more thought into, okay, I'm going to eat this with intention because it'll help get us through the cold season and the 500 germs and diseases, not diseases, but viruses that come home from school with the kids. Or, I mean, I work in a school setting as well, so we're constantly bombarded by germs and, viruses and things. So
right,
just starting basic instead of being retroactive with medications afterward or whatever, being proactive
proactive,
and making sure that you get what your body needs to just be healthy all the time and have the highest immune system response you can
right,
have.
right. And do it in a way, like you said, was intentional.
Yeah,
So it
exactly.
just
No,
changes
it's
everything. It's like it's just getting us being present, right?
yeah, I
Being
like that.
present. Yeah. Anyway, so that's and then we have a number of other articles, and this one was such a surprise to me. Mindful cultivation, the meditative art of mushroom growing, and
Yeah, this has
by
been really popular. I've seen this. This is all over social media, and I hear colleagues talking about it. I have one who he forages in the land near his house and for his own, and yeah, it's really interesting.
It's fascinating. So that's what Grandpa got for Christmas. So he's going to start his mushroom farm.
Oh, I'm
Um,
sure he's gonna
but
pay him
yeah,
sugar a little bit.
well, it's fascinating. And it's kind of like, who knew? And this is like another thing. There's something really meditational around growing mushrooms and cooking with them. And they're really, really good for us. And they're really
Mhm.
good for the planet. I had no idea. So
Well, I've been
that's
like just caring for anything, like of my plants. I've never been a plant person, but I have this basil plant that has decided to just thrive, and an orchid as well. And I'm, it's funny because I'm never a gardener or had a really interest, but caring for these plants has kind of become a new little passion, just
a
to keep
little,
them alive. And like, oh, hello, little basil, and I give them names and chat, and it's really cute. It's fun. And the girls
okay.
too. The girls were loving it too.
So, but that it's a little thing, but it's a huge thing, right?
Yeah.
It makes you smile. You love showing me how your basil plants are doing, and I have my plants. The one needs to be repotted, and I have to apologize to it like every day. Like, I'm so sorry. I'll get to you.
Yeah.
Anyway, all good. And so this issue, again, it's just full of wonderful things and just reminders of how truly blessed we are and how there's just so much wonder around us all day long when we
Yeah.
just stop and pay attention.
Well, I think the takeaway from this is just the the mindset, and just to change your attitude and change your language even around it. If you change it by one little word, it can change your whole attitude and outlook again around something that was so heavy before, maybe, or
Right.
overwhelming before. And so I
Yeah.
think that's really important.
Or guilt producing,
Or guilt producing or
makes you feel
stressful, or
shameful or guilty or blah, blah, blah. So just
yeah,
find that word.
find that word. I like the training. I'm going to use that. Use that with my
Training.
students too. We're
Yeah.
training.
We're
We're
training.
training
There
our
you go.
brains.
We're training
Yes.
your brains. So, okay, on that happy note, Kyles, thank you so much for being with me
Oh,
today and
thank you for having me.
sharing a little piece of Good Fat Life.
Yes, I appreciate it. It's fun. It's
And
been a while.
yeah, all righty. Well, go out and have a great day, and
Thank
we'll
you. Go
see you
get your
soon.
coffee.
Go get my will. I'm going to go get my coffee. And I just ask our readers and community to check out goodfatlife.com. Lots of cool stuff happening on the website. Our web store is going to launch pretty soon. We've got some really cool products
Cool.
because,
That's
that's the whole point. People are doing amazing things, and we get to connect those people doing amazing things with the people looking for those amazing things.
Yep.
Right? That's all. So, okay. Take care. Be well. Love
You
you.
too.
Okay.
Love you
Bye.
too. Bye.